Okay, so we'll continue where we left off with the tutorial. So we just briefly looked at the status ailment one. Don't think that was caught on stream per se, but it was just teaching us the horrors of the undead, which was okay, I guess. It's just teaching you that you could use status ailments to stop them from regenerating health. And now we'll go to the Cambria Caverns. We'll take the last little bit of movement speed we can get there. But we're like halfway through the locations at least. But unfortunately, it's being a little finicky even with me here. But there we go. Let's go ahead to the Cambria Caverns. I believe I could just use the entrance directly. Let's go near the subterranean lake. I think this is one of the first times you fight undead, so it's like maybe it's arguable that it's useful. So we're gonna go backwards a little bit. There's that little cubby right there, and we will use that in order to get another tutorial. So unfortunately, this is taking a much longer time than I anticipated, mostly because we had to do a lot of fights prior to this. So we'll see where we are with the stream. Oops, did not mean to close that. This one upsets me. The one where it's like, if you're worried about blast gauge, try to get blast gauge skills. And I'm like, how about you just give them to me? How about I don't have to just go randomly it just like into my pile and just decide which ones I should merge in order to get blast gauge. How about that, Zestiria? See, this is why I feel like the other games work a lot better to me, as like, I wouldn't consider myself a casual player, but especially for the casual player for this kind of game, it doesn't
smell like that.
It doesn't feel good when all of your bonuses are not on your character, and like when you get super restricted to like one set of gear, it feels really bad when you have to just continually upgrade your gear. It feels super bad. So either you approach this game with the mindset of you take the first weapon you get and you grind it into oblivion, or you swap weapons constantly, therefore fusion's pointless. Oh, there we go, chat. Here's the one that makes me mad. This one was like, after going to like the fire ruins and then reading this one, oh my gosh. Like, just read that. Do you regularly forget to breathe as well? That is so insulting. Who wrote this, chat? Please tell me they're fired. Like, this is so bad. So bad, chat. It's so bad. like, come on. What is that? Like, come on. Cut me a break. Well, we'll take more herbs. Why not, chat? So I believe we just have to very briefly dip into here. And then also on the second floor, or excuse me, not the second floor, but on the boss room, there's also one more. So we've gotten up to the fire trial, chat, in terms of monument progress. So we're like a little bit before halfway through the game. But I promise it has an end, chat. So this one's just reminding you. I feel like that one is actually okay placed because it's location sensitive. You are in a area with a lot of fire resistance, so it's just reminding you that that's what you need to do to beat it. That one to me doesn't super bother me. There have been much worse. I think it's this way? Yeah, here it is. So this is the first time you get Mystic Arts. This is like one of the few times that this is okay. One of the few, chat. So we are done with this one. So we're going to go ahead and zip on to the Pendrago Shrine Church. Yeah, like the ones that are like location sensitive don't bother me, but like some of the generic ones just like I'm like, really? So we're gonna go from the Sacred Inscriptions exit, I think. So we are basically looking for, let's see, which room is it in? Ooh, it's not really clear on the map that I have. 1 second, chat. Oh, I see where it's supposed to be. Okay, I see where it's supposed to be. So we're gonna continue on into the dungeon proper. Should just be in front of us. So we will acknowledge that there's a cat god here named Morgrim. We'll remember that for our Berseria playthrough. The cat sits upon the throne. So we're gonna make a sharp right here, and we should have all the seals, so this should be pretty straightforward. We'll get into a fight with this, or he'll just blip out of existence, sure. I mean, I'm not gonna say no, but this one tries my patience, because we've had like how many we've had at least three types of arts. Then we've had individual ones for each of these already, separate from the overview of each of these. That to me is like not acceptable for where we are in the game. Not acceptable. We are so far into it. Not acceptable, chat. So we are done with the Shrine Church, so we're gonna go to Ifrid's hunting grounds, and I'm going to want to start near the location of the Earth Trial. So we have 3 more elemental kind of places to go in the connecting areas, but we're getting there, chat. So as I said before, I want to go to Ifrid's near the Earth Trial. There we go. Goodbye all of our money, chat. Rest in peace. You were sacrificed for kind of literally nothing. So we're going to go ahead and collect that particular monument there. And there should be one more in this area. So this one's just talking about dropped items. This one, I feel like it has like a fortune cookie phrase at the bottom where it says, nothing you do in life is wasted, everything is part of a greater whole. Absolutely gross, chat. And I will let you know that that is a lie. Oh, I don't want a dangerous encounter. Oh, I got really lucky. I will let you know that if you bother to grind your gear in order to beat this game, you have officially wasted your time. I would like to say that that is an immediately apparent counter to that.
Would you like some?
No, I would not like the donut. We will continue onwards for now, though. We're so close, chat. We're so close. Man, these enemies are quick. Glad we got the movement speed up. Again, I don't want to open any chests that are here, just due to the fact that it will potentially spawn a mimic, and that will waste a ton of time to deal with. Wow, that enemy is all over us. Chad, I think you know my opinion on switching Seraphim. That one's a terrible tutorial. Terrible. Terrible. Like, listen, we have all 4 Seraphs at this point in the game. If we don't know when to switch Seraphs by now, we are hopelessly going to lose every encounter. Like, how did we even get here without swapping Seraph? Let's be honest. So we'll go ahead into the Earth Shrine itself. So I believe what we are interested in is... Where is it at? I think it's on this floor, so I need to go up a bit. Now, where did it put us is the question. Oh, it put us there. That's not too bad. So I can wrap around and come to the upper floor. I swear, chat, if it gives us an HP one, I might lose it. I'm not sure. It's pretty bad. We should not be getting them at this point. There we go. Here's a monument.
I don't think we've checked that monolith out yet.
Oh, it's a new one, chat. Ooh. Oh, another one. My counter didn't even want to add them. There we go, 184. This one is one of the worst ones that we've read. It doesn't even tell us what skill that we should use. Wow, that one's pretty bad. It doesn't sass us, but it's like, hey, you'll unlock battle actions eventually that reduce blast gauge. And I'm like, okay, and what ones are they? And then you read the tutorial and you're like, oh, you're just not going to tell us. Because that would have been helpful. Right, chat? I mean, like, I learned nothing from reading that. I'm like, okay. I learned that they have different status ones, but how do you unlock them? Like, wouldn't that have been more useful if it gives you a shortcut on ones that are kind of hard to learn by yourself? That could have been useful. Oh. Oh, come on. Is there really one for targeting this far in the game? Are you serious? Oh my gosh, come on, chat. Like, just think of how we've gotten all the Seraphs at this point. We've gotten Mystic Arts. Oh no. Why? Anyway, we're gonna go to the Lamrock Cave and just go, wow, that tutorial will just never be useful for where it is. Okay, so this one is kind of a mess because this is kind of a big area. But fortunately, I think what we're looking for is just around the corner here. So fortunately, we did not, for example, miss a Norman. So otherwise, we would have to kind of travel forever through here. I'm just seeing where... There should be 2 monuments in here. I'm just seeing where the next one is. Like, oh, okay, we really don't need another tutorial on the dropped items. Okay, so ultimately we need to go to a new portion of the cave. So it looks like I have a couple different choices to get there. I basically need to go where it says the cave to the southwest. I think we have opened up the path ahead of time already, so we're gonna head south. I know, chat. It's like talking about targeting. It's just absolute madness.
Be on your guard.
Sweet dreams.
I mean, it feels kind of nice to insta-kill these enemies, I guess. It's like one of the few times the combat feels good is because the enemies are so underleveled compared to us. We're able to deal with them. Chat. So yeah, there are so many tutorials, but I feel like we've gotten through... How many would you say, chat? Do you feel like we've been through about 30, maybe 40? Gone through a lot of them. Here's the other monument that I'm looking for. This one's on advanced techniques. This is just talking about how armatization works. I mean, it's not completely terrible. Oh, I never actually opened this path up. We'll punch it, chat, just to deal with that shortcut. We're never gonna take it, though. We're just gonna go back the way we came, honestly. It's probably just easier that way for navigation purposes. So, with that, we're going to loop around back to the save point there, and we're gonna go to the Gorge, which is right before the Wind Shrine. We get to watch our money dwindle away with every teleport. That's always a fun experience, chat.
Let's get 'em.
Women in battle.
We are fortunately spared Zavid's battle quote because we mashed quick enough. So we're just doing a grand old tour through the rest of the game. We are getting so close, chat. Can you feel it? Do you feel excited that we're almost done with all the tutorials? Or are you sad? What are your thoughts, chat? Because I mean, like, ooh, the only game that I can really think of in recent memory where the tutorials drove me absolutely nuts, and it made me really sad that it happened because it just could not stop happening throughout, would be the first Ni no Kuni game. That one also really tested my patience with tutorials. So let's see. I want to go to the Gorge, which I thought... Yeah, there it is. And I'm going to go from the northeastern section. Like, if you want to see me flip out, it will be playing the first Ni no Kuni game. That one was like... I will forever remember the game that made me sit through a tutorial on how to open a pause menu. That one had me like... I was freaking out, chat, when I played that offline. I'm like, oh no, what did I purchase? This one's also pretty useless. I'll follow that under not useful to us. And we're going to teleport to the entrance of the ruins to save us a little bit of time here. So let's go to here. Wow, we have almost no money left. That's crazy. So from this entrance, I'm just double checking where the monument is. I think it's back a little ways. Noted, we'll need to vote for that in a future stream. I actually don't really... I guess I could technically play the PS3 version, but I don't own the Steam version. I don't have any intention of purchasing it on Steam. I feel like much like Ni no Kuni 1 and Zestiria, the one thing they have in common are terrible tutorials and disappointment. I feel like that's an ongoing theme with this. Oh, I didn't realize you could just kind of rotate the camera when you're in these. I don't think I ever really tried before. Okay, this tutorial is absolutely stupid. Can we talk about this? It's like, hey dummy, did you figure out seraphs use seraphic arts? Did you? Did you realize they don't have hidden arts yet? Did you? You've only been using them for this point through like almost two massive dungeons. But here you go, dummy. Here's your tutorial. Oh, chat. What are we gonna do with this game? Other than not play it ever again. Oh, we're so close, chat. What teleport did this just put me at? I'm confused. Oh, it put me over here. Okay. Chat is merciful and not gonna vote for Ni no Kuni yet. I need more of a break. Thank you, chat. Ni no Kuni 1 also made me the maddest I think I've ever been beating a final boss of any video game. Normally you would get mad because the boss is like really cheap and unfair. And in my defense, that boss was also pretty hard and not really fun to play. But the reward for beating that game, I literally, like, I don't throw controllers, but I really thought about it, chat. I will let you know, I was very, very mad at the reward you get at the end of the game, specifically because of how hard that final boss battle was. Leading into that as the reward. I don't know if anybody who's played it before. I don't want to spoil it, but I will let you know. It upset me on many levels that was the item or the ability I unlocked. This one's just talking about more advanced techniques. I mean, like, I got upset at Rogue Galaxy, but nowhere near as much as Ni no Kuni 1. Like, I more just kind of gave up and felt defeated about Rogue Galaxy, and I did get a little mad at like how cheap that was, but the rage was definitely deeper on Ni no Kuni 1. I don't think I could channel being that angry in a game again. That just felt like so unbearably fun. Like, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, Ni no Kuni 1 and Zestiria share a lot of things that I don't like in bad action RPG games, and that's when your ability to win is dependent on your absolutely dumb teammates. I feel like... Okay, let me take this. Let me take the teleport as I finish that thought, and also fight this enemy. But I feel like in both games, I just felt so frustrated at like the lack of control over the AI partners. Because, like, a big thing in the older Tales games, or at least the older 3D ones, is that you could assign moves to the right stick in order to time combos better, so you didn't even have to necessarily rely on your partner. Like, you could just literally assign them, like, Demon Fang or, like, Tiger Blade, or just, like, anything that you just need to combo extend, so that way you can reset yourself. And I feel like in both games, there is a crippling lack of ability to customize your options. So I either A, have to pause the game repeatedly, which feels terrible from like a flow standpoint, and command them to manually do an ability, or B, I have to rely on their completely terrible AI to just sometimes not even use the right thing on the enemy. Like, sometimes they will still use what the enemy is resistant to, or they'll decide that the best thing to do at the time is to heal like 5 feet from the guy that's targeting them, and then they choose not to evade. It's little things like that that really showcase like how much of a frustration factor comes in due to things like lack of player control. And I feel like that's a big reason I don't like the combat in this game, and also Ni no Kuni 1. Where I feel like you will give them the best possible things, and they will still do the dumbest things. And you're like, come on, do I really have to babysit them every other technique? Because I feel like, again, that issue applies to both Ni no Kuni 1 and also Zestiria. Probably less or so for Ni no Kuni 2. I feel like the AI was a little bit better, but I feel that's also because they removed a lot of things from the AI, so it's kind of a mixed bag there. So we're heading on over to another tutorial chat. So let's see. This one is on Seraphic Arts. This one's pretty useless. I mean, if you just look at Mind Flayer, that's literally the description of this. So that one's pretty dumb. It's like, hey, did you know elemental spells could have stat downs? And I'm like, yes, all of them do. That's why it showed us the fire equals whatever, and then like wind is focus, earth is defense kind of thing. Like, yeah, you already told us that, game. So we are now done with this area, but we're going to go to the wetlands next. And then I think after that, we'll sweep over to Logrim. Or the ruins, whatever I feel like at the time, honestly. But we're getting very close, chat. I mean, look at this. We didn't have to go to the Camelot Bridge or anything. Doesn't that feel good, chat? We don't have to walk across that really large area again. Also, I will always remember the one part in Ni no Kuni 1 where I was trying to explain to my sister, who sometimes watches the games, where I'm like, man, I was just coming off of Tales of Destiny 2, and a great thing about that game is you had a button you could use to force your AI partners to block, because that way you don't have to leave it to chance. And I'm like, wow, it just feels so crappy to play a game in like the mid-2000s, and they still have AI that don't block. And I remember I was fighting a giant jellyfish, and the reward for beating the giant jellyfish was the ability to command your people to block. And I'm like, why did it take so long to unlock? Why would you do this to me, game? I fought like 15 bosses or so at that point. I'm like, that would have been way nicer to have so much earlier. Like, thanks for giving me the thing I needed to beat that boss after I beat the boss. Thanks. Oh my gosh. That game trolls. That game honestly just trolls you all day long. It's kind of sad because I actually like the plot of Ni no Kuni 1 for people that are curious about it, but the gameplay left a lot to be desired, and it's hard to recommend it from that standpoint. From a story perspective, I thought it was much better than Ni no Kuni 2. I don't even feel like it's fair to compare them because of like how much worse I feel Ni no Kuni 2 was. But let's see. I want to go to, I think, the entrance here. The problem is that there's a monument to the north of here. So see this little section over there, like roughly in the center? I have to scroll up higher. And I think the only way to get higher on the map is to climb here. So we'll see. It's weird because I feel like that game goes from like overwhelmingly easy to I literally can just beat them with basic attacks to Oh, you didn't block? Perish. Oh, no. This is not how I get down there. Darn, how do I get over there, then? Oh, no, chat. I forgot how to get over there. I thought this is the way we had to do it. Unless I'm just missing something. Nope, the game will not zoom out any further. Oh, I didn't even realize this was a menu, chat. I think this is the first time I've ever tried pushing in the right stick. So you could see what each enemy drops. I mean, I guess that's nice, chat. Okay, so now I have to remember how we get over there. So if it's not from here, do I go from this side into it? I don't think we go from the north. So let me wrap around, chat. We'll see. See, but I feel like it's a neat feature, and I feel like that's something that, I don't know. I've never tried pushing in the right stick to do anything, because it's just like, it's not normally a button used in many games. Oh, I've apparently missed a super chest. That one is probably safe to collect. What is in this one? Oh, it's just armor. Whatever. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. We are back on track, and we are going to climb up these vines. Yeah, that should have been a tutorial. Yeah, I feel like when you compare it to like what Berseria does, Berseria's Bestiary just tells you straight up what items they drop. So you could just more specifically see, not like more inclined to drop tiara or whatever. It just literally tells you what it drops. It's much more useful in my opinion. So this one's kind of like way too late in the game to explain to you that level ups are based off your bonus stats. Like, yeah, chat, we would have gotten a pretty fair distance here. So basically, we would have cleared all 4 elemental shrines at this point, and we would have been on our way to go see Maven. So that ship has sailed when it came to leveling. So big oops on the game part again. It's like, yeah, game, you should probably teach us about leveling before we actually power level to this point. Oh, we can't actually descend there. That's disappointing. So where's the jump point? Oh, there it is. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap around, I think, to the north is a slightly faster route. And we're gonna go to Mallory, which is not this one, but another woods. Oh, did I miss another one of these, or did the chest respawn from the first time we were here? Let's double check. We attained Void Spheres. Kind of hard to tell.
Worried for a moment.
Ready?
No escape!
Freeze it, sweet dreams!
Also, I'm just realizing we are really injured. I should probably heal.
Spirit cleansing!
The flame has died!
Spirit cleansing! Elixir fatigue! Here goes! Open the way for! Ain't you overdoing it a bit there, Mixter?
No.
Sorry, Zavid was talking. I was like, no. Let's mosey on through here. I think at this rate, chat, we'll leave the Berseria. We'll do the Berseria New Game Plus bonuses, but I don't think we'll formally start until next week. I think that's the safest thing to do. Slip. I was trying to save and I butterfingered all those buttons. My bad, chat. Yeah, I forgot how long we had to walk back and forth. I was thinking this was only going to take like an hour, but nope. Time said otherwise, chat. Time said otherwise. So we're just going to go ahead and go to the next area. So we're going to go from the eastern area. Our destination is a waypoint down, or not a waypoint, there's a tutorial down there, so let's go collect it. I'm gonna blame lack of sleep for Butterfingers. I don't even know what I was pressing, just all the buttons happened. Oh, chat. This one's another really good contender for worst tutorial. It's teaching us about grade after we've beaten all 4 elemental temples. Oh my gosh, just wow. 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 It's so bad. It's so bad, chat. Like, you can't make this up. It's just like, wow. They thought this was okay. I don't think it's the number of tutorials I had to travel to. I just forgot how much we have to walk in between the tutorials. I think that was the problem, because they're not really close to any of the save points, which is kind of a problem. And we're not able to quick step most of the distance. So it's just kind of unfortunate, really. You could blame Zestiria for that. Okay, game. Weaknesses and resistances. We are far too deep in the game for you to tell us this. And I don't even think it's a good tip. I don't even think that's a good tip. Like, not only is that not a good tip, but yeah, just way too late. Makes no sense. I'll just go back the way I came, chat. I don't feel like getting lost. We're just gonna loop around. So yeah, now we're getting into the why do these exist realm of tutorials. And you have to think about this, chat. At this point in the game, if we were doing all the side content, we would be... Ooh. We would be approaching that 40-hour mark. I mean, I kind of sped through all the combat, but had you been taking your time, I mean, this is like the last 15-20% of the game. Like, that's pretty bad for it to teach us it now. And now we're going to get into the more ridiculous of tutorials, which is my favorite. We're gonna go to Camlon. But chat, we are so close. Like, don't you feel the light at the end of the tunnel? I'm like, we're skipping everything on here. We're just going straight to Camlon. We don't have to go to any of those other places. They do not have tutorials for us. But we do have to go near the village entrance. So we have saved here. I am just verifying where the tutorial is. It is all the way to the north. So we're gonna wrap around here. It's a high end of the game. How you doing? I mean, this dungeon was kind of cool looking. Like, I have a lot of negative things to say about the game, but I'm not gonna say like I hated every moment while playing it. Just most of the moments that involved Rose and Zavid. I feel like that's a safe statement. Oh no, I got attacked. That's unfortunate. We were so close, chat.
Let's keep it up. Hang on, everyone. You were quite...
Okay, we're coming to one of the more useless tutorials, because if this tutorial is useful for you, then it is... I don't know. It's extremely situational. Oh, come on. They can outrun us still. Cut me a break, game. Yeah, like, I feel like from a genuinely good standpoint, I feel like the dragon scene will forever be the best scene in the game, where you fight it on the Glaveland Basin. Yeah, okay. This one has to be one of the most useless tutorials, and I don't even mean just because of, like, the text not really telling you anything that is interesting. But if you're playing on hard, if you've been playing on hard since the beginning of the game, you would already have intense. And if you're not already playing on hard, why would you want to learn about intense and chaos now? Like, you're at the end of the game. Like, why? Why would you bother at that point? And, well, I guess, actually, that's not true. There could be the very small fraction of people that know about the hard difficulty, but somehow haven't had enough fights yet on hard in order to trigger it. I guess it's theoretically possible. If people are not familiar with any of the other Tale games, they might not realize there's a higher difficulty. But I think they might also assume that on a New Game Plus, there would be a higher difficulty, which I feel is a pretty safe assumption for most players. So anyway, we are now done with Camlon. And chat, that only leaves one more tutorial. If all has gone well, something should happen, and we might have to go to a save point for it to happen. But we are finally on Hexen Isle, chat. We are almost free of Zestiria. We're so close. There are 2 side stories and skits. We will... I guess I'll do them, just because we did come across them technically.
Is that a monolith?
And here is the final tutorial, chat. What do you think the game is going to teach us about? You get to guess. I'm going to go ahead and increment that counter. 185 is our final monument tutorial. Oh my gosh, what a struggle to get here. So let's go see what's written in the ancient tongue, chat. Advanced techniques. Some monstrous hellions will unleash attacks at the start of battle that it seems you can neither evade nor survive. These enemies are impossible and you should give up. Ha, as if. Believe in bonus skills. They may hold the key to dealing with enemies that seem invincible. In particular, stacking skills may draw out surprising effects. Okay, so this is a reference to how to beat the bonus boss of this game. And I have a better suggestion. Just don't do it. Better suggestion. Prove me wrong, chat. Just don't play it again. just don't. We got it, chat.
Writing on those monoliths is Maven.
The words in the ancient tongue inscribed on them do have a distinctive written style. It could have been him.
I think I've seen them before too. I couldn't read them, of course, but when I asked Maven, he said, "It's my secret code."
That does sound like Maven.
I wonder if he placed those monuments in various regions
Wait,
to help
what?
guide the shepherd.
They may have been built in a different order. But
Wait, didn't we view this skit? What happened?
You head south of Elise.
Hello?
Doesn't seem coincidental.
But judging from how weathered they look, surely they were made more than 10 or 20 years ago.
Guys, am I hallucinating? Are we having the same skit?
Former shepherd.
We've definitely... Oh, no, we paid for it. We paid for it. That's right. I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, wait a minute. I've definitely seen this before. So we got a fashion accessory. I was losing it, chat. I was losing it. I was like, I just couldn't handle it. Let's go ahead and unequip this array of things, I guess, briefly. We can get Danger Jr., which I believe is a Zestiria reference. So we'll play that game eventually, chat. I believe that is the main protagonist, actually, of Zestiria, or one of them. So we could zoom in a little bit just to see the little doll on our shoulder. And now we unlocked a new battle action, which is called Friendly Link. Repeatedly tap the B button during a Mystic Art to unleash another Mystic Art, so long as BG is 3 or greater. So, chat, I'm going to teach you something that will make you kind of annoyed, because I know I'm annoyed that this is the final thing that you unlock. So, this particular thing, by the way, is just a default ability in Berseria. Just gonna let you think about that, and you don't have to mash a button for this to happen. You just hit the D-pad for the next character. So long. There you go, chat. That's the reward. We have finished all of that. Now we did see 2 skits technically, so what I'm gonna do is we will save the game one more time. And we're going to go to them. I think we saw one in Pendrago, and the other was in Lady Lake. And we're going to view Misunderstandings Left Alone. And once we're done with that, chat, we are done. I am turning the game off. We are moving to Berseria.
Rose, it still seems like you haven't quite told Sergei the truth, have you?
Yeah, kind of. I guess I don't want to disappoint him.
Yeah, me neither.
Maybe for Sergei, people like you and Rose are symbolic of the very world he wants to protect.
Maybe he's reflecting upon the loss of his family through them.
We are deceiving him, but let's keep it on the down low for a bit longer.
Yes, I agree.
Maybe you guys should make it a reality instead.
In your dreams?
See? What a cute couple.
Anyway, let's do what we have to do. And then...
A day will come when we can tell him the truth. For sure.
So that's one skit down in chat. We are going to go ahead and teleport all the way to Lady Lake, and we're going to go to the inn because that's the closer of the 2 locations. And we are out of there. We are done, chat. I am not viewing any more skits. I'm not going to go pay for them. I'm sorry, chat. I don't like these characters. That we have seen enough of the story. I feel like the ones we could at least enjoy and make fun of were in the main plot itself. I feel like most of the other, I was gonna say ancillary, but all the other skits are just kind of blah. So we'll finish this one because this one's considered part of a side story. Let's see what happens here.
Did something happen?
Oh, apparently they found the body of a child.
What?
One of those pickpocket kids. We thought he'd turned over a new leaf, but guess he was back at it. And he picked the wrong pocket.
Whoever it was showed no mercy, even for a child.
Poor kid. Didn't understand the danger he was courting.
That's true. I remember there used to be a whole gang of them. I bet his buddies all met the same fate too.
That's the life of a street kid. Nasty, brutish, and short.
If you're a dumb thug, reputation is everything. Anyone who messes with them gets pounded into the ground.
Let's go.
Please don't torment yourself over this, Saray. You did what a shepherd ought to do.
Thank you, Lila. But it's still
hard.
Yay, Zestiria killed more children. Yay. Like... So here's what we learned. We told them to not do the thing that we wanted them to do. They ignored us, they died. That was the plot arc of the children. They learned nothing. Therefore they die. Thanks, Zestiria. What an uplifting moment to end the stream on. I just love it. So we're gonna save over that final file. So we are done. Goodbye, Rose. I will not miss you. Goodbye, Zavid. I hate you, but unfortunately we'll see you again. Goodbye, Edna, who is only going to make a cameo at Best in Berseria. And goodbye, everybody else to the left of this. We will not see you again. You will not be referenced in Berseria. You do not exist. And I think at this point I can safely switch over. I'm going to put it on Be Right Back so that way you are not assaulted with weird graphics. But I'm going to go ahead and turn that game off. So what I'm going to do, chat, is I will briefly, just to separate it from the VOD, I will briefly pause the stream. But when I return, we are going to go ahead with the Berseria New Game Plus setup, which I think will only take a few minutes. And then we'll see where we go from there. And I'll probably pause my own recording at that point, just because... Actually, you know what? Let's talk about Berseria. So before we go into Zestiria, let's have a proper send-off, because I don't want this to flow over into the Berseria conversation. I only want to talk about good things from here on out. So whatever we have in our minds, this is like the last 5 minutes we're ever going to spend on Zestiria. And I'm going to say I enjoyed the bit of a train wreck that was yeah, round of applause. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the train wreck that was the Cardinal and the Pope. I feel like for the most part, I didn't really notice the voice acting, except for Rose. I don't know what it is about her, but I don't know if it's her voice or her character or both, but just something about it just got to be really grating. But I'm glad we got all the way to the end, and that way we don't have to listen to her anymore, either with her weird modern slang or southernisms thrown in arbitrarily. Like, just there's so many things that I won't miss about Rose. I probably will not also play the DLC for this game because I hate the combat, and the DLC focuses on Rose. Like, it's supposed to be on Alicia, but it focuses on Rose, and I really don't want to hear more Rose. I need a really long break if I'm going to consider going back to it. And honestly, I don't feel like most of us really care about the plot of these characters. I don't really care what happens to Rose. I don't care. I didn't like her. The only one I was kind of interested in was Alicia, but I didn't want to sit through Rose in order to do so. Yeah, that's a good point. We never made a decision on which one was the worst tutorial. So you're saying it's a toss-up between the HP tutorial, switching Seraph, and SAS Tactic Command. I think the SAS Tastic one with the command. That one was pretty atrocious. Yeah, unfortunately, Rose is in the DLC. If Rose was not in the DLC, I might have considered playing it because it continues Alicia's storyline. And remember how all the nobles just kind of didn't exist at the end of the game? I don't know if the DLC resolves that. So that would have been my only curiosity. But I don't think it would be as entertainingly as terrible as the initial core game, because I feel like the game is very interesting that it starts off with the promise and it seems okay, and then like the more mechanics you unlock and the more characters it introduces, the more you don't like the game. Like, I still feel like my most telling moment for me playing through this game again is I enjoyed the game so much better when I turned all of their voices off and skipped the cutscenes. I was like, oh, combat's actually not bad when you play it on a super low difficulty, and you don't have to worry about being insta-killed constantly by all the later bosses by really arbitrary mystic arts, in which case you would have to grind a ton of equipment pieces in order to survive a single hit. I feel like that's where it should have been. I feel like their regular attack damage should have been maybe a little higher. I feel like some of the bonus bosses, their attack damage was about where I kind of wanted it for a normal difficulty, but man, that mystic art damage was like chaos mode. That made no sense. Yeah, characters like Maltran were like completely wasted. We missed some backstory with her apparently with the skits, but it doesn't add anything. She barely does anything in the plot. She basically is like, oh, I'm the supportive figure, but I'm also the villain, and now I'm dead. I mean, I feel like that really honestly describes her entire role. I'd be 10,000% honest. Yeah, ready for Dirty Dancing? Oh no. Technically, chat, if you want any of those really terrible sound clips from any of those characters, I will not say no to it. I will just frown at you whenever you use it. Because the other voice clips I like or find funny, those are just terrible. Like, come on. They were terrible. Just terrible, chat. But I think at this point we're gonna switch over to Berseria. So if the chat has anything else they want to say, now's the time to do it. I'll give the chat maybe about 20 seconds. And I will pause the stream for about a minute, and we will do a very, very brief... Oh, you kind of do? Okay, well, Chris, you're going to have to let me know separately what you think about it. Which voice clips you're interested in. You'll have to go back. But I think at this point, we're going to set up for the New Game Plus, so I will try to walk through the different options, and then we can start off the story with like a fresh mindset. We don't have to think about the dirtiness that is Zestiria. And we could go ahead and enjoy the game for what it is. So I don't think I'll go into a proper introduction for this session for the game. I will just kind of introduce the New Game Plus, but I think next weekend I will give a formal introduction to the game and kind of ease people into it. And because I don't plan on doing any plot today, but I'll talk about it a little bit. But I think with that, I'm going to pause the stream for a minute just to make sure it's in a separate VOD, because I don't really want this lumped in with Zestiria. And also, if I record it separately, it's just much easier to upload for me later. So I will pause and be right back in about, let's say, 30 seconds.